folks, today we'll be doing a short intro to one of the important services in AWS, that is CloudFormation. And to tell me about myself, this is Deepak. I'm a certified AWS architect and I have total 8 years of experience in managing AWS cloud resources. Yeah, to jump into the video, what do you have? And by looking at today's agenda, what I'm going to walk through is we'll be understanding what the CloudFormation is in AWS and the usage of CloudFormation templates, that is CFTs, in provisioning resources, the structure of a basic template, and creation of stacks. So I'm gonna run you through various keywords over here. Like you have firstly come across CloudFormation templates and stacks, and we'll see like what CloudFormation actually is. Yeah, so going by the book definition, so AWS states that AWS CloudFormation is a service that helps you model and set up your Amazon Web Services resources so that you can spend less time managing those resources and more time focusing on your applications that run in AWS. So what does this mean? So you have like various resources in AWS, starting from EC2 to Route 53, EBS volumes, everything. So all these are created through console. So let's suppose you don't want to create them through console and you want to have a code snippet to do all of the work for you. So let's suppose you want to automate all this stuff. So why do we need CloudFormation? So we can start over there. Yeah, so why do we need CloudFormation? So let's consider basic infrastructure, which is having a simple EC2 and an EBS is attached to the EC2, and it is having an ELB, and attached to this ELB is a Route 53. So this is a simple infrastructure you can get for running a services and all. So it looks like simple infrastructure, but if you want to create in the console, it will take some time. So let's suppose you want to replicate this exact architecture in between various availability zones. And once you're done with the availability zones, if you want to replicate the exact scenario in various regions, so consider how much time it would take to replicate these infrastructure manually. So what CloudFormation allows us to do is like we can write a simple template for creation of each of these resources. The template can be in JSON or YAML, or it can be a simple text file. So it allows us to describe a template in which we can define all these resources, and we can input this template to the CloudFormation, and CloudFormation allows us to create these resources on behalf of us. So CloudFormation does not incur any charges, so only the underlying resources will cost us. So there can be n number of stacks. Stacks are nothing but the collection of resources. So whatever the resources you are building through your template are going to be called as stacks. So you can update, delete, or create these stacks using the templates. So we're going to learn more about templates and stacks in the later video sessions, but now we'll be looking why CloudFormation is required and what are the advantages of CloudFormation in AWS. Yeah, so we were discussing about setting up the infrastructure quickly. So the one of the basic advantages of CloudFormation is like you won't have to do the same amount of work every time. So you can write a simple code and you can run it as many times as you need. So the exact infrastructure will be created across availability zones or across regions. You just need to replace the parameters which will be reflected to your AZs as well as regions. Yeah, so what does it say? So using CloudFormation, we can quickly replicate your infrastructure. So that's what it says. You don't need to individually create and configure AWS resources and figure out what dependent on what. AWS CloudFormation handles all of that. If your application requires additional availability, you might replicate in multiple regions so that if one region becomes unavailable, your users can still use your application in another region. So what does it say? So this is part of a DR strategy. disaster recovery strategy. Let's suppose your application is in US East 1, that's North Virginia, and your AWS US East 1 has gone down. So in spite of US East 1 going down, your application must be in a situation to handle all the traffic from another region. So this is the DR strategy what we will generally take. So let's suppose you're having like 10 EC2s and 20 EBS volumes and ELBs as well as Route 53s, and there are like multiple services in AWS. So your application has all of these and you want to replicate in another AZ or another region. So you cannot be starting from scratch, and it will take days or months to create the VPCs or the subnets or everything in another region. So what you can do is like you can write a simple template, as I said. It can be in JSON or YAML, and you can input this template to the AWS CloudFormation, and it will does the rest on behalf of us. And next we'll jump into usage and what does CloudFormation allows us to do. So using CloudFormation, you can easily control and track changes to your infrastructure. So let's suppose there are any changes in your infrastructure and you want to have like 8 EC2 instances instead of 10. So what you can do, you can directly go back to your template and edit it. So whenever you are updating the template, you go into the console and you upload the file. So AWS CloudFormation actually calculates like what are the changes and will show it to you. So based on that, you can approve the approve the updation of stack. So by that we can easily control and track changes. So that's what it is saying. In some cases, you might have underlying resources that you want to upgrade incrementally. So let's suppose there is a lot of load, and let's suppose it's a Christmas time and you want to scale your infrastructure as per the customer needs. So what you can do is like, you want to change the EC2 instance type. So what you can do is like you can just jump into the template and look at the instance type and change it over there. So when you're updating it, update the CloudFormation template, and next time the instance scales, so the new instance comes up with the newly changed instance type. So that's how simple it is. So these are the various CloudFormation stages of in CloudFormation. So these are the basic terms you will be coming across in CloudFormation. So starting with the template, then once you have created the template, then you'll be jumping into the creation, update or deletion basic CRUD operations. And once a template has been uploaded into the CloudFormation, so a stack is created. A stack, as I said, it's nothing but a collection of resources. Yeah, so what is a template? So coming to the template definition, AWS states that a template is a JSON or YAML formatted text file, and you can save these templates with any extensions such as .json, .yaml, .template or .text. AWS CloudFormation uses these templates as blueprints for building your AWS resources. So it will have the underlying resources what you want to create. So in a template, you can describe an Amazon EC2 instance such as instance type, the AMI ID, and its Amazon EC2 key pair and whatnot. Everything you can describe in the template. And whenever you create a stack, you also specify a template that AWS CloudFormation uses to the other developer or for us. So let's suppose you have created an EC2 instance and you want to give the EC2 instance ID. So you can output the EC2 instance ID in this output section. Or you have created an EBS 2 or 3 EBS volumes. And once after the creation is done, you can output the EBS IDs in this output section. And this is a AWS template format version is the basic thing, like we'll be specifying the format version. This is the basic structure, and additional to these things we have one more thing as conditions. So depending upon the conditions, you can create you can execute like the underlying block based on the conditions. So let's suppose you want to create like 2 EBS volumes, one with the IOPS, that is the IO IO1 type and the other as a general purpose EBS volume. So you can define a condition, so depending on that condition you can create the different type of EBS volumes. So you can use these conditions in various ways. Yeah, coming to the stacks. So what are stacks? So when you use AWS CloudFormation, you manage related resources as a single unit called a stack. You create, update and delete a collection of resources by creating, updating and deleting stacks. So what does this say? So whenever you are creating a particular stack in AWS or a particular set of resources, so you'll be defining all these resources under a single template, and whenever you are uploading a template into the AWS, so all the resources defined are created as a one set. So this set is called as stack. So whenever you want to change the underlying resources the next time, so you have to update this stack. And if you want to delete this stack, so it will be a lot more easier for you. So you can directly, instead of deleting each and every resource which you have created, you can directly go to the stack and delete the stack, and which deletes all the resources which it has created. So managing the stacks are pretty simple when compared to a single resources. So, and the next point is like all the resources in a stack are defined by the stack's AWS CloudFormation template. So whatever the stack that has created, it depends on the template. And these are the basic operations which can perform on each stack. Like there is a create operation, update operation, and delete. So whenever you are uploading the template to the AWS CloudFormation console, you are asking the CloudFormation to create it. And let's suppose if there are any changes, the console allows us to do an update on it. So let's suppose there is an AMI change, or you have applied some patches to the AMI which you are using and you want to update the AMI. So directly you can go to the edit stack section and you can change the AMI ID over there and you can directly update it. So what does this update does is like it will show you the changes that are going to happen in the next operation, and when the moment you approve it and click on update, the existing stack is updated to the new AMI ID. So at the next time when you are terminating the instance, or whenever the auto scaling brings up a new instance, the new instance will be coming up with the new AMI ID. So that's what happens in the update operation. So and then we have delete operation for the stacks. So instead of deleting, like I already told, instead of deleting the single resources, we can directly come and delete the entire stack. So by this way we'll be having a grip on the resources what we have created, and I mean the resources are not lost, so that we won't incur like higher billing. And change sets. So like I said, whenever you are updating, you'll be getting the list of changes that you are going to do. So that's what it says. If you need to make changes to the running resource in a stack, you update the stack. Before making changes to your resources, you can generate a change set. So that's what change set is. So you will be getting a list of the changes, which is a summary of your proposed changes. So this is the beginning of the CloudFormation. So I wanted to just give an intro of the CloudFormation, like what are you going to work on. So I haven't even touched the AWS console. So the AWS console and creation of the templates and stacks will be looking at in the later videos.